ask the Arcturians to just step forward. If we can do the chakra rebuild and aura reseal, or if that's necessary. Is that necessary at this time?
No, they're saying it's I'm just acclimatizing to some newer frequencies that have been brought through. So that's what I was just feeling. I've never felt those ones. Um, because everything is clear, and they're just saying that there is more, there's just a little bit more light coming through.
Mm.
So it's like oh, it's really weird. It's just being like bobbing up and down. So it's just making me laugh.
So
It's
what sort of
weird.
frequencies are these? Can they tell
Yeah.
us what sort of frequencies these are that are being brought through? What purpose are these?
So there's some more, okay, so there's some more angelic frequencies coming through because I channel the Arcturians and the angelic realm, but the angelic realm is a slightly different frequency, which I've already connected with, but there's just some other layers dropping in because the human body cannot hold them all at once. So there's just some more dropping in, which is why they're giving them in stages, but they are very high frequency, which is why I feel like it's like flying. It really is. It's like flying, and it's just a lot. So I can see why this needs to happen in stages because
Mm.
that could just be too much.
Is that part of the violet flame or?
Connected, everything is connected, but these are the angelic frequencies. The angelic frequencies are connected to the Arcturians, but they're also their own distinct uh, energies, and because they are high vibrational, they are a very pure form of light,
Mm.
and so they are as light as you can get. And so this is why there is a feeling in the body of being not quite in the body holding these, because they're very light. So as I receive the frequencies, they're showing me I'll be able to ground them in gradually,
Mm.
but there is just a gradual grounding, and then there will be more. So it's a wonderful thing, but it's a lot for the body. So
Yeah.
it's like holding them. Yeah, it's like it's steadying a little bit now.
Mm.
But it's yeah, it's very light. The planet is needing to uh, connect to these, and so part of what I'm doing is holding the frequencies here on the planet. So we each of us are holding certain frequencies to assist the planetary shift.
Mm.
So they thought it would be fun to do it in this way, in
Mm.
this session.
Wonderful. Do these frequencies, do they have like a particular color or a shape to them? Or are they just frequencies?
They are frequencies, but each one receiving them may respond and relate to them in their own choices. So some may see and feel certain colors that they associate. It is all through your own lens.
Mm.
So for me, they're showing me that I will feel, because how I relate to it is golden light. It's very light. So I'll recognize this energy. It's
Mm.
all about recognizing the frequencies. So then you are sure of who you are connecting with. So I'm very familiar with, ah, okay. So the reminding me, I'm very familiar with the Arcturian frequency now. I'm very familiar with the Arcturian and angelic frequency combined. And so this third piece is to familiarize myself with the angelic frequency, which is on its own is a different uh, vibration. So I can recognize, and in recognizing this means that you are very clear about the energies, and then there is no confusion or manipulation of any kind.
Yeah, that's really
Yes.
important to
Yeah.
note.
Yes.
Beautiful. Be there now. Tell me what you see or experience around you as you allow all of your senses to feel into this new space that we have arrived in.
There's light everywhere. It's just bright. I can't see anything other than light. I'm inside the light and I'm part of the light.
Okay. We're allowing the soul to speak today, and these images are flowing from the soul and into the mind. And as we look around in this new space and use all of our senses, I want you to connect very deeply now with that space with all the light, and tell me about what you see or experience as you float through that light.
Everything is available. So there are spaces in this light, and there are planets and countries, people and places, and everything is there in between all the spaces.
Mm. And
I
as
can
you
see
mm,
everything in whichever direction. It's all choice and energies.
and as you become aware of your point of perception, the place where you're viewing that from, if you look down at yourself, what does yourself look like in this space of light?
I am I am light, but I'm aware of myself. I have a I have my own consciousness. Even though I am part of this light, I still have my own fragment. But it's an understanding. It's an understanding that I am this light. This light is me, but I am also the consciousness piece of this. It's understood.
And are there any other beings around you in this light?
Yes, many, but we're doing something here. Everything is available and everyone is here, but we are on another frequency, and we're doing something very specific here. Some training of some kind.
Can you tell me more about that?
Uh, training training with the angelic realm.
And what
Being
does that look like?
We're seeing everything from a much higher perspective. We say higher to convey the meaning, but it is not meant to be a separation of any kind or a hierarchy, but it is simply words to describe but it is a higher frequency and it is directly connected to source. Everything is connected to source, but this is a very close connection.
Mm. So are you beings that are being trained by the angelic beings, or are you part of the angelic beings?
Both.
Mm.
We are both, and we are all of it. And my consciousness aspect, where I'm communicating now, is here as an Arcturian being who is integrating into the angelic realm. So there is a graduation of sorts.
And
So
what
the
do you mean by that?
Arcturians, yes, the Arcturians have a very advanced civilization and frequency. And so, in the same way as other places, the Arcturians have their different parts and levels. And so, the higher consciousness ones, the elders, the experienced ones, they can choose to graduate. We will use the word graduate to make sense. And so, as part of this graduation, they connect into we're using the human words, upper realms, to connect into the angelic frequency. And so, there is a partnership.
Mm.
And so, there is a deepening now of the experiences that is finely tuning the training and the wisdom. And it is a choice to do this. It is a love for humanity to learn how to do this and to bring it into a very dense part of the universe, which is very much in need of higher frequencies. They need to be very high frequencies to withstand the very dense energies of the earth. So, this is all part of preparation, working alongside the creator angels, many
Mm.
different creator beings who are connected with the angels.
Mm. And tell me about those. Are those the Elohim beings?
Yes, yes. And this is why you are both connected through this work. You've found each other doing this work that you are doing, but you are also connected in the upper realms.
Mm. It's very beautiful. And what sort of jobs do the Arcturians and the Elohim and creator angels, what do they collaborate on?
Many, many things across the universe. They can assist with creativity, ideas, inspiration, and innovation to better the societies or advance the civilizations, many aspects of healing. It's unlimited, it is unlimited across the entire existence.
Mm. There are different types of angels in this space that do different things.
Yes, because again, each one is connected to all that is, but there are fragments that have their own consciousness and interests. And so, just as humans on the earth plane, they each have their own preferences. It is the same here.
Mm. So, what angels are connected to you at this time and this place in where you are right now? And what do those angels do?
These are the archangels and the ones very much connected with healing,
Mm,
because what Earth is in need of more than anything is healing.
mm,
It is awakening and it is activating and it is ascending. And you use many words for this, but it is underpinned by the need for healing. And in order to do this, there must be very high frequencies, much, much higher than the humans themselves can hold. But these frequencies will anchor in and connect to the entire planetary system. And so it is very important at this time for these angelic frequencies to be present and to be activated whilst in the physical form, which is why certain ones have chosen to drop into the physical form during a very specific time in humanity's evolution.
mm. And in our bodies, how does that evolve in our bodies as the light is coming in? What is happening through our bodies as we are anchoring in these frequencies?
Your DNA structure is shifting and it is going back to its original form. So, this is to do with how the humans were originally created as higher frequency beings. And so, there is almost a reversal happening now for those who are choosing the path of light. And so, it allows their bodies to shift in their cellular structure and their DNA sequencing so that they can bring in more crystalline energies, and this means more light. And this is why on your current timeline there is an attack. We would use this word so that you can relate, an attack on the genetic makeup and the DNA structuring, because it is very powerful. And so this is why there are many aspects of what is happening on the planet in need of change. And so it is allowing you, it is allowing you and encouraging you to make many changes to your preferences, things that you allow into your bodies, choices that you are making, and energies that you now connect with.
Mm, beautiful. Is the vehicle okay? Is the throat clear while we are speaking?
Mm. Yes, it is a passing through of the energies and allowing the body to integrate. So all is well. There just may be a little uh, hiccup, so to speak, but it is
Mm,
allowing the energies to flow, just giving a moment for those energies to flow.
mm, beautiful. And as those energies are flowing through the body, what's happening to the body?
More light, more light is flowing through. And this was the reason that there was some preparation done before this segment so that she can access this part of her multidimensional nature. And so the body itself is holding more light, and each cell is, we would say, restructuring to allow in more light energy.
Mm,
This is why she felt this very physically. It made her laugh because lightness is very light and very enjoyable, of course.
mm,
And so she will find that she will be bringing in more of these frequencies, the ones she was already connected with, but they were combined with the Arcturians, and so now she will be able to hold the angelic frequencies just as much as she can the Arcturians, and they will also come through together because she is part of both. And so she will find that she's more connected now.
Beautiful. And will she be able to channel that now, those angelic
Ye-
aspects?
Yes, she has been channeling them already, but it is to do with having them in a more solid way. And so she is finding that the Arcturian parts are very strong now. They're very grounded, and her messaging is no longer diluted, so to speak. And so she will also be able to do the same with the angelic energies. And this gives her a very grounded, powerful balance because the angelic frequencies are very um, connected with healing, as are the Arcturian energies. But as she will know, there are slightly different frequencies, and these frequencies will resonate with people in slightly different ways. And so she can reach a wider number of humans.
Mm,
Yes.
beautiful. And is her spiritual body or her energy body changing as she is changing with her body as well, with her physical body?
Everything will shift up, so to speak. So we would say that it is a gradual shifting up so that everything is elevated. So there will be some subtle shifts, yes, but she was already, her energy body was already connected. It is more to do with, yes, the physical body having to catch up and to be able to hold the energies. So it is often the physical that is slower than the energy body. Yes.
Mm. And is there any like changes in the energy body, like in I guess, the the components of the energy body as a result of the changes?
She will be able to access things more easily and quickly. There will be more an element of speed. So there is imagining a funnel. If there is a funnel going through the energy body into the physical, the funnel has just become greater. So there is an ease now with which information codes, activations, and knowledge will move through, and so there will be a greater capacity to hold this, and it will not take so much from the physical because of the frequency shift.
Mm. And about the solar activity that's happening, the intense solar activity, can you talk about all of the beautiful auroras that are happening over the planet and what significance that this has, this session right now?
There are a lot of frequency shifts, as you're already aware of, and there is a great deal of activity in your skies, and so nothing on Earth really is straightforward because there are many layers and levels to what you are seeing. And so, on one side, there is the harmful activity of the manipulation and the orchestration of what is happening with weather patterns and big events. And on the other hand, you are also being assisted by outside energies, galactic beings of light, angelic beings of light that are here to assist. And so you are seeing in the skies what many of you would use the word battle to describe the push and the pull between what is happening. And so some parts of the skies you are seeing will be part of the orchestration where you'll be seeing the visible signs in the skies, and then the some parts of the skies will be to do with the energy blasts that are happening to assist. So there is a combination of all of this. And so many are in conflict at the moment as to what these energies are. Some perhaps will be saying that they are bad, that they come from orchestrated weather manipulations, and others are saying that they are beautiful and they come from incredible energy blasts. And so we would say that it is a combination of all of these things. But the frequency with which you look at things will determine how you relate to them. So it is never quite straightforward, but it is also to do with looking at things through a vibration of love, even if you are looking at unwanted things. It is okay to enjoy the colors, for example, to enjoy certain aspects of what you are seeing, to know that great energies are assisting you. And at the same time, you can also acknowledge that there are things happening on the earth and in the skies that are not so wonderful. But yes, there is a mixture of many, many things happening. But overall, it is important to note that there is more light than anything else. And it is because there is so much light frequency hitting the planet and being created on the planet that you are seeing the the dark, heavy energies showing themselves. And so it is very important to remember this because many will see the catastrophic events and perhaps go into fear or panic. And as we share this, we also wish to share much love and compassion for those who are experiencing challenge as a result of these energies. And so we are never here to diminish the human experience. And we understand that many are going through the struggle. But what we are sharing is that alongside this, there are many very powerful unfoldings happening, and it is important for those of you who are here to anchor in the light to remain connected to this knowing, to understand that no matter what you see happening in the skies or on the earth, that it is a result of there being a higher light frequency on the planet.
And what is this doing to us right now to go through this solar storm?
It is having a very, very difficult for some of you impact on the human body. So, depending again on what is happening in each of your forms, some people right now, for example, will be feeling very wonderful and light, and other people may be feeling the opposite. And so, it will depend on the density in the body and the choices that you are also making and some of the things that you are participating in and not. So this is why it is very, very different for each of you. But many of you will be feeling the the exhaustion, the tiredness. Many of you may be feeling things such as ringing in your ears, tension, headaches, digestive issues, many different things on the skin and different ways that you may be feeling. And so it is very, very varied, yes, with the human form. But to understand that this is part of the shifting on the planet, and because you are beings of light, you are going to really feel the impacts. And so to go very gently with yourselves and to know that you do not need to be so hard on yourselves or to expect yourselves to be anywhere other than where you are, and to know that this storm will pass and that you may have different experiences at different times. Yes, but there is a lot happening and it's a huge adjustment for the human at this time.
And will there be more solar events like this to prepare humanity?
Yes, there will be a continuation of many different waves, different energies coming through, and you are also collectively creating certain experiences. So this is why nothing is set in stone, so to speak. There are many different routes, there are many different ways you can evolve through this period, but the trajectory that you are on in this current timeline is a wonderful one for humanity, even though it may not appear to look this way in current times.
So some people were also anticipating a possible pole shift because of the intense solar activity. Is that like a possibility? Is this something that can be talked about?
Yes, if you can elaborate on your meaning of a pole shift, because there are many different ways of perhaps looking at this.
Mm. Like when the poles, the North Pole and the South Pole changes to a different location, or the geomagnetic grid of the planet begins to become, let's just say, unstable, and then things begin to occur.
Oh, yes, the instability energy will be a very big theme, yes, on the planet. And so, again, the way that it is going to occur will very much depend on the collective. And so, if you imagine that in each moment it is still being created, and so humanity is still deciding how it will shift through this time. And so, there are many different possibilities, but what you will start to see. As you are already starting to witness, is the instability in terms of the structures, the physical structures on your planet that many of you are familiar with. You will start to see a lot of shifting in the physical land, and you are already starting to see this with various storms, some flooding, some events around the world in different locations. And so, yes, it may be that you start to see some shifting, but some of this, some of this, we're going to say catastrophic type shifting comes from a remembrance of some of what occurred on the planet in previous timelines. And so many of you have this awareness of the earth literally tipping upside down, and for it to have felt as if the world was breaking up. And there was an element of this in ancient civilizations. And so the timeline that you are on, the trajectory is not so much lined up with this, because you are creating a very different way of being on this planet. So what you may find is that there almost exists two worlds on the same planet, as if the world has been split into two different ways of being. Of course, there are many, many more ways, but for simplicity, we will talk about the two ways being the very artificial way, enslaved way, and then the very organic and natural way. And so, when you are choosing the organic, more natural way of being a human, you will be creating a very different frequency. And so, those on the path of, let's just say, the artificial controlled part, they will be experiencing the world in a very different way. So you will have very, very different experiences, even though you are on the same planet, because there is a frequency shift. So if you imagine the shift happening in terms of a frequency, it may feel like a very physical shift also, but it is coming from the frequency. And this is why, for example, you have had experiences in your linear past where you can see big world events and a lot of disaster. However, certain individuals in those events have experienced something a lot more beneficial, perhaps more fortunate or lucky, as you would call it. So there are always ways to tap into a different frequency no matter what is occurring. And this is exactly what those of you who are aligned with being star seeds, light workers, and conscious ones are here to do. And so fear is not necessary, but we understand that some of you may feel this. But yes, there is a lot shifting, and there are many, many possibilities.
Mm. And those ones that go on the more artificial path, will they be able to, like, I guess, be interacted with? Or will they be in a completely different sort of um, dimension?
Yes, and this again will depend on each of you because some of you will feel as if you do not connect with anyone in that way, and others will feel that you can still connect with certain ones on different frequencies. So, again, it is all your own creations, but it is more to do with frequency rather than location. So, it will be less about you living in a certain part of the world and them living in a certain other part of the world. You may exist side by side because it will be a continuation. This will be going on for quite a while on your earth time. And so, yes, there may be all different ways that you all navigate. Some of you are here to help those people to transition. Some of you are not here for that. You are here for other types of ones. And so it will all be very individual. Yes. Nothing really is so linear. Um, and there are lots of different versions and ways of being.
And is the activity of all of the dark entities ramping up at the moment? Is that related to what's happening with the light?
Yes, and many now are starting to become aware of what is present, the energies that are present on the planet. And this is very wonderful because it means that you are being able to be more conscious and aware of what is happening. And this is how you can choose to move forwards. It is really to do with growth. And so we love to share the message that if you are being aware now of perhaps certain shadows or seeing things or experiencing things that you are not, this is a sign of you being on the path of awareness. And so it is very important that you allow yourself to move through this and rise above any fear that you may have, because it is the fear that will keep you um, grounded in rather than moving forwards. And we say grounded in a way to suggest that you are more stagnant more than you would like. And so it is very important to remember that the fear is just an illusion. And so as you start to talk about these uh, dark energies and beings that exist, the more you will take the fear out. So it is a very wonderful thing when you are bringing light to the darker areas, so that you are effectively switching the lights on and showing other humans that it is okay. There is nothing so much to fear. It is the unknown, and this is all part of the growth process.
Mm. Is that why sometimes when we speak about these things, we can have some pushback?
Yes, because there are many, of course, that do not wish to look. They are perhaps operating from a state of fear. And then, of course, there are many who are under the influence of other energies. And so these energies that work through people unknowingly, they wish to perhaps turn your volume down or interrupt your message. And so, as you were already aware, you know that these energies exist, but you are choosing to continue sharing what you know. And again, as more light comes into the area, you will see more reactions, more objections to this. But this is again part of growth. And we would say that this is a wonderful thing because it means that you are moving forwards. Yes.
Is that why she was having some strange comments recently on her page?
Yes. Yes. It came from the post that she shared, which she was aware when she shared it. It had a very um, high frequency energy, but it was very direct. Was a very direct, very Arcturian. energy that came through. And so there are certain energies, of course, that do not wish to connect with the Arcturian energies or the angelic energies. But yes, this was what she was experiencing as a way to try and undermine her light. Yes. But she was aware of this, and so she handled that very effectively
Mm,
with much love and compassion as well as power. Yes.
beautiful. And would it be appropriate to explore the angelic realm a little bit more, or would it be appropriate to ask her questions?
Yes, I would say she can ask the questions because it is a lot of frequency to hold for extended periods. Yes,
Okay,
as she
wonderful.
needs to adjust.
Okay, beautiful. So she wanted to know, why has her body created anemia and what's the underlying cause of this condition? And also, if we can check if the label anemia is actually correct or accurate.
Yes, the labeling of certain physical issues in the body is an interesting one because, of course, the Earth model, as it is a very limited one, and so this is just to state that there is a very uh, there's a limited view of the body and the mechanisms, and so we would look at this as an energy issue for her, as she is very we would say she's predisposed, her vehicle, her physical body is predisposed to things pertaining to energy because she is such a sensitive uh, being and she is here, of course, as a channel. Things around energy will always be the aspects that affect her body the most. And so, yes, her body has been lacking a certain energy and so it would benefit, she would benefit from increasing those levels of energy in her body. And the reason that this has been created is on a few levels. So, on a physical level, she has been absorbing a lot on the planet from the heaviness and the dense energies. And this is partly what she came to do. And so, as she does this, she has been absorbing it into her body. She has been assisting, but it has also had a depleting impact on her because this came from previous times before she understood fully how to protect her field as she knows now. So, what she is experiencing with her iron and oxygen levels is a result of what happened before a buildup of a depletion. And so it is not reflective of where she is now. So what she is doing now is repairing and building up her energy reserves on a physical level, but also the energetic component is also not having enough joy. And so she has again been made aware of the need that of the need of having more joy and fun and lightness in her life. It is very important for her, uh, being who she is, and we have shared with her before as she has enjoyed receiving the message that fun and joy are to be top of her serious list of priorities because it is a very, very high frequency energy for her. And when she does not have enough of that fuel, it is created physically in the body. This is true for many, not just her. This is true for many, many of you that you do not have enough levels of joy and fun. It does not mean that you are not enjoying your lives, but because she picks up so much of the density, she must compensate by bringing in much higher levels. So, to deliberately cultivate joy and fun in her life so that she can withstand the energies that she absorbs, yes, this will help her greatly. And this is really the creation of what has happened in her body.
And so, what can she do to fully heal and release this, because she really needs that energy for her mission?
Mm. Yes, she has already begun making changes which are very beneficial. Some of these are getting back to basics with certain habits, sleep patterns, dietary changes, drinking more fluids. Because she channels, she really does need to increase her intake of fluids, so that she can uh, allow the energy to flow through her. It is a lot for her body. The last 3 years have been a lot for the body. She's undergone significant changes. So, drinking more, she already distills her water. And so, drinking more of this, increasing the uptake. She has already made great significant changes with her diet because she feels uh, drawn now towards removing more of the processed products and getting back to food, which is having less ingredients, more simple. She does not have to aim for perfection, but to continue what she is doing. And she is also benefiting from, um, yes, eating meat products for her body, food sources for her body, because we know that this can bring up a lot of debate on the earth plane, which is a very large subject in itself. But we just wish to share that many different bodies require different fuel. And so it is important for her body to have this source so that she can sustain the energy. It's simply what her body requires to be at its fullest and healthiest capacity. And so she has already begun making those changes, and for her to continue. But having this awareness today will also assist her. Yes.
So recently, when I was channeling in a session, my higher self told me that I could not channel because I wasn't hydrated enough. So does that have an effect on the channeling?
Yes, because it is all flow and it is all flowing in. So if you are not flowing with the hydration, it can make the energies, because the energies are like water. If you think about it in this way, it flows through you. And so having a lack of hydration makes it more challenging for the energies to flow through your system. It is simply how the human body is created, and so you do need more water to be able to hold more light. And if you do not, you may find that you receive more headaches, more tension around the head. And so increasing the water, yes, will help your channeling capacity, yes, and uh, anything to do with connecting in this way. Yes.
Mm, that's good to know. She wanted to know as well what foods are best for her to eat right now, but you answered that a little bit considering all that's happening right now. What's the best
Mm.
diet for her body?
Yes, she would benefit from things that she can name. She likes to play a game often where she can name what is on her plate. And so if she follows this, if she can name everything, this will mean that she is not picking foods where she cannot pronounce what is in them, or certain ingredients, because these are very detrimental to the human system. And so she also likes to play a game of adding color to her food. And so making this more playful is a very good idea, because sometimes things around food can feel very restrictive. And she does not like to feel restrictive. She likes to have lots of choice and abundance and flexibility. And so she can continue doing what she's doing, eating what she is eating, allowing herself sometimes to be imperfect with it, and to know that it is okay to eat certain things. Sometimes she likes to eat things with sugar, and this is okay, but it is to do with more increasing the good foods that she is putting in the body. And when she does this, the impact of those moments when she does not perhaps choose the highest choices, they will be uh, not so impactful, because she does like to enjoy certain things. and she enjoys to play with these tastes while she is on the human in the human form. She does have fun with this, and so yes, she is doing all the correct things if she continues as she is doing.
Beautiful. And what things does she do in the astral when she sleeps? Because she knows that there's a lot going on right now.
Yes, she does a lot. Yes, when she is sleeping, and this goes for all of you. The the soul, the spirit, higher self, when you are sleeping, does not, of course, sleep. So there is a whole experience that you are having when your physical body is resting. And so she is one who is choosing to um, do very similar to what she is doing in the waking hours, but she is doing it in a more direct way, as some of you listening will also be doing. She is assisting with the light, yes. So this takes many forms. Sometimes it is removing dark energies and attachments of different kinds. She is working in the thick of it, and she is doing a lot of intervention for others. So when others are being, perhaps you would use the phrase, psychically attacked, she is assisting many in their dream states. And so yes, this is continuing. The reason that she does not always remember is because sometimes it does not serve her waking hours to fully remember everything, because it is a lot, and she is to concentrate on what she is doing in the waking hours. But yes, is a lot happening. She is shifting timelines. She is working on multiple timelines. She is gathering information during this time. She is uh, gaining more wisdom. Sometimes she can wake up and simply know things that she did not know before she went to sleep. And so she sometimes realizes she wakes up with a knowing about what is really happening on this planet, or what has just occurred, or what is going to occur. And so she brings this knowledge back. And this is helpful to her mission. It's very helpful. So if she remembers certain things, it is to help her mission. Yes.
Speaking of her mission, is her daughter playing any role in the astral with her, as she's been remembering a lot of dreams with her in the astral in other realms?
Yes, yes, she is doing exactly the same alongside her. They are working together. They've worked together in many different capacities, and they chose to be here at this time as mother and daughter to work closely together. And they have achieved a lot of transformation together in this lifetime, which has been very successful. And so, yes, she is also part of this during the astral, and sometimes she can remember this herself. So she may remember different bits herself. And yes, they are. Yes, they are undergoing a lot of the similar work, and also separate, but a lot of it overlaps. Yes.
And can you tell her what a little bit about what she's doing with her daughter?
Yes, her daughter is similar to her insofar as she has come to assist humanity, and she is working also to assist people, to assist the frequency on the planet. So she has come to, uh, she is musical, and so she likes to work with frequencies. This is her area of speciality that she loves to assist with, and so she is working on the frequencies of the planet, and she is doing this on multiple timelines at different points. They both have in common the work with frequencies and timelines. Yes. A lot of work is operated across timelines because each timeline impacts another. So she is um, helping on these levels. Yes.
She wanted to know how can she deliberately astral travel and how can she remember more about what she experiences during the night?
With her intention, she earlier on this year she was starting to experiment with this, but she put it to one side to focus on the training of clearing the energy. So when she is ready to return to this, she can simply set her intention to have the experience and to start remembering. She can do some meditations before she sleeps to prepare her body. She was having experiences where she could remember pulling her consciousness out as she was about to exit the human body, but there were some experiences that she had that were a little bit overwhelming, and so she decided to perhaps press pause. But but perhaps now she feels that she is more ready to do this, and so it is really just her decision. And once she decides she would like to, she will find that she can play with this and have more experiences.
She'd like to know as well about the healing place during sleep states and how she can access this deliberately and how we can access the healing place outside of the sleep states. What is the healing place for her?
Yes, for her, it is very connected with the angelics and the Arcturian frequencies. So everyone has healing places that they can go to. Hers is connected with both these energies. And so it is simply a place that she knows. She knows it deep within her. She's just starting to become more conscious now. And so she can access this place. It is simply a place to go to, more a frequency, and she can access this frequency uh, and place also. It is also a place that she can visit and she can receive whatever she needs to help her body. It could be mentally, emotionally, physically, whichever capacity she is in need of. This happens anyway. It is just what is happening. She is becoming more conscious and she has been playing with this energy with her daughter as well to practice to see if they can meet and remember. And so the remembering will happen in due course if it is helpful at the time. But the healing place, yes, is to do with the Arcturian and the angelic frequency. And because of the work that she is here to do, she is here for a huge capacity to help with healing. And so this is infused in every session that she does, even if the session is not focused on healing, healing does occur. People do feel different when they are in her space. And so she's connected to this healing place. It's part of her, it is part of her team. Yes.
And can you describe a little bit more about the healing space?
Yes. Because it is outside of the physical, it does not really have a physical form, but we will describe it in physical ways so that you can feel the energies. But it is to do with going into a place which has a certain frequency, uh, which gives the body whatever it is needing. And so there are various different requirements. But let us say if somebody is feeling a lack of self-worth and it comes from experiences that they've had, the healing place in this situation could help them lift out those heavier vibrations. So physically lift them out of the body and infuse that one with a higher frequency. So it is to remove what is not uh, beneficial for them and to infuse them with energies and frequencies that are. And when you have more energies that are beneficial and these outnumber the energies that are not beneficial, that is when healing occurs because there is more good going in, so to speak. And so there are many different ways to do this, but it is a frequency. Yes.
And could we use this in the quantum hypnosis?
Yes, because everything is accessible. And so often it is simply being aware that something exists and that it is not simply a figment of your imagination. But really, if you can imagine it, it exists. And so, yes, you can call in the angelic and the Arcturian healing space, and you can ask for this frequency to be brought in and for the person to step into this with their willingness and their intention. And then they can connect into this, and anyone can access this space. It is simply setting the intention and the desired location, so to speak, and you can bring it to mind and you can allow yourself to connect. You can also do this before you sleep to set a special intention, surrounding yourself with light and calling in an intention to visit the angelic and Arcturian healing space. Yes. And so this is accessible, and we welcome anyone to utilize this. Yes, because it is available.
Mm, that sounds beautiful. That sounds like something that would be amazing to be explored within like a different sort of quantum hypnosis session.
Yes, and now you've spoken of this, you can incorporate this, and now that she has connected into it, she will naturally feel like bringing this in into her sessions, into her work, and she can bring this in any moment, just to have it with her, so that when people enter her space, they are effectively entering the healing space um, by connecting with her energy. So yes, it is very, very beneficial and very accessible.
And she also felt about her ideas coming through for her fiction books, if they already exist. She said that the recent idea feels like it's real, but she hasn't written it yet. She was wondering if she's seen it before, this idea that she has.
Yes, she has seen it before because she has written it before. And so it was a delightful experience that she had recently where she was able to, she did it in a very direct way, more than she has done before. This one came in very clearly and she could see it and feel it. And this is a story that she has written. It's very important that she shares her stories because her stories are another way of expanding uh, people's consciousness and in a very light, entertaining, fascinating way. And so, yes, this is because on other timelines, yes, as she's already more and more aware of, she has, there is a part of her that has already done this. And it is the same for anyone. If you have something that you are wanting to create and it is a clear idea, it is because it already exists. And so you can start to, the idea behind this is that you bring it into this timeline with a lot more ease. So if you imagine that the work has already been done, the groundwork has already been done. So what you are doing is you still must, of course, create it, but you are pulling it in from an existing template. So this means that it will be a lot easier for you to do. And this is how she wrote her first book, only she was not so conscious of this, but now she is more conscious. This will make more sense as to how she wrote that book in a very short space of time with a lot more ease. The second book, she has been getting into her head, and it has felt a lot more linear, which is why it's taken her much longer. But when she remembers that it has already been written, she is just pulling it down. Yes, she still needs to type the words, but the concepts have already been formed. She's already done the hard work, and so she can utilize this because this is a higher timeline. So it does get to be easier. So this is a wonderful thing that she's experienced. Yes. And you may also take some of this guidance for your own book because you also have your creations that you are bringing into this timeline.
Yes, I felt a little bit well, perfectionist around this. How do we release some of that perfectionism energy? Because I feel that it does obscure some of the work that we do sometimes.
Yes, and to know that this is not your multidimensional self, this is your human uh, form that you are in. So when you get into a certain car, it may drive a certain way. It has a tendency to drive, but how you drive it yourself as the driver is up to you. And so to simply recognize that this perfectionism does not come from a deeper part of you, it comes from the uh, the human traits, the ideas, the things that you have picked up by being present in this on this planet, but they do not belong to you. They're just energies that have attached to you. So you could also, um, in the way that you remove the darker energies, you can put a net around your energy field and send a pulse of light and remove this perfectionist energy because it is simply an energy, and you can do this, which will assist you. And you can also tap into a remembrance of what we shared, that you have already written and created this. And so it is simply a choice and a decision that you would like to bring it into now, and to do the whole thing very lightly, to sit and simply allow yourself to see what is on the first page and allow yourself to bring in the first sentence. What does it feel like? Just simply allow yourself to keep pouring out the words and to not worry about the structure and how it sounds because it is already there. You are just typing and bringing it through, and it really can be a lot easier because you have other things to do. This book is also important, but it also means that you get to bring it in um, more easily more easily. So it's not such a troublesome activity because you are also doing other things. So this will help you greatly.
Mm. Well, thank you so much for that. And can you tell us more about, well, I'm asking the Arcturians, especially the boat's constellation in which the Arcturians live?
Mm. Yes, we are in a very bright part of the existence, the universe, the galaxy, the greater whole. And so we are in a completely different dimension when you are looking at the earth. So we, of course, are on a different frequency. And so we exist outside of the physical time and space, which is present on Earth. And so a lot of things are different from where we are. And this is why we can see a lot uh, more than you can see in your physical shoes. So we welcome any specific questions that you would like us to shine some light on.
Yes, there is a constellation, a void that exists outside of the boat's constellation that's like slightly, I guess, um, I'm not sure where exactly it is, but is this void a gateway as I've heard it described?
Hmm. Yes, we would lightly play with you and say, excuse me, and say that it is somewhat like a galactic airport, is a way to describe it. We can move in and out of this space. A lot happens, a lot of transportation and travel can happen through this area. A lot of connection can occur. It is a very vast space, and because we do not operate with any limitation, um, yes, it is a very big subject, so to speak. So, yes, we again welcome anything specific that you would like to know about
Mm,
this.
yes. And what is, apart from an airport, what sort of beings come through that airport?
Mm. These would be, we would say, our galactic brothers and sisters, our family. Uh, the universe is so vast, yes. So we are connected. We are connected across with many, many different beings. So even though we would describe ourselves as Arcturians, we use this word, but we also are aware that we are one and the same as our brothers and sisters. And so they may use their words to describe them, different star systems and beings. But we are also speaking in this way with the full understanding that we are all part of the same source. So this area is it allows the integration and the connection between different beings. It is a wonderful space where we can connect. Um, yes, and it is most welcome. We do not allow in this space the lower frequencies. Lower frequencies and vibrations cannot operate in this space. It simply cannot. And so it is a wonderful space.
Yes, some of those beings that came through, I feel like one of them was like a sombrero, a being from the Sombrero galaxy. Are those ones connected to the Arcturians as well? Because their energy felt very familiar to the Arcturian energy, but different at the same time.
Mm. Yes, and we are all connected. So even though we have different words to describe ourselves, the familiarity that you are feeling is the frequency. So there will be a similar vibrational frequency because we are all resonant with each other. There are so many different types of beings, some with names that cannot be pronounced in the human form. But there are endless numbers. There are so many, and so it is a wonderful community. We would use this word, connection, family, and so it is interesting when you can see it from this perspective. And then when you look at Earth, you can see just how young Earth is because humanity on Earth in the current form is so young, it does not yet realize that there are other beings. Some of them feel like they are the only beings in existence, and we smile with much love because we know that they are just in their youngest forms. And also, they've been told many, many deceptions over a long time. And so, yes, as more and more of you are aware, becoming aware, you will realize that there are so many different types of beings with different names. And so, certain ones, like the Arcturians, have decided to make themselves more known so that we can fulfill our missions of helping humanity. But there are many like us that have great love for humanity, and perhaps some of them are not connecting as much right now because they are choosing other aspects on this timeline, but they are very much here and connected, and a lot of them are supporting what is happening, and they are directly assisting. Yes, you are greatly loved and supported by many, many beings outside of the earth.
Mm. Yes, I love to meet all of the different sorts of beings. Is it true that when we connect with these different sorts of beings, each different being, does something happen to our consciousness by meeting those beings? in like a meditation or through leaving our body.
Mm. Yes, because you are in essence connecting to another part of yourself, because it is all connected and you are multidimensional. If you if you were connected to every part of yourself, it would be too great. It would be too expansive to hold in the human. And so this is why you are only accessing certain parts of it at different points. And so you may find some of you will access more because you are simply on the quest to do so. So yes, you can allow different parts of your consciousness to be activated. And some of you will feel familiar with certain vibrations, certain names, certain energies. You will just feel a familiarity because many of you have had incarnations and experiences and connections because we are all part of the same family.
Mm. Are there some beings that come from different galaxies that find it really hard to be in our human vibration because they are so different?
Yes, yes, it would just be very difficult and it perhaps would not make so much sense to connect in a certain way, in the way that in the human form, it would not make sense to connect in a certain other way. Yes, but there are many, many of them.
Yes, and is there any of those beings that come out of that void that she has a connection to, the one he's speaking?
She has a great connection to many of them. Uh, yes, she is a vast, expansive one. And so, for the purposes of her mission here, she has decided to connect with certain energies and frequencies. So, really, as not to overload herself and her mission, and to be a little streamlined with what she wishes to bring in to the current timeline. But this is not to say that she does not connect with an array of different ones in her travel, as she does when she is in her sleep state. Yes, but she is very connected. She has a lot of connections, yes, and she does connect with them, just not consciously. But the love that she feels sometimes she just recognizes when she feels a sudden burst of love or a burst of joy that isn't coming from anything in the physical. Sometimes this is just the connections that she's feeling, because there are many who have great love for her because of her other connections and experiences, and there are many who like to watch and check in on what she's doing because they know her mission. And yes, she has fun with this.
Mm, wonderful. And you could have shown this one many different experiences today. So why did you show them that experience in the angelic realm that they were shown?
This was to help her just bring in some further angelic frequencies that she is now ready to receive. So it was a wonderful opportunity. Uh, we could have done this at any point, but because she had a session scheduled, it was felt that it would be more of a fun experience for her to do it in this way and to feel it the way that she did. So yes, it was good for her to bring those frequencies in because she is moving forwards now on her mission. She experienced yesterday some high frequency light and some she's experiencing some clarity now that is moving very fast in a way that she has not known before, in a very ease and joyful way, but it is fast. And so she is getting ready now to bring in some more codes for the planet, for the people that she works with, for herself, to put into her books. This book that she is working on, there is an infusions of codes for this book. So it was simply the right timing now, and her body with all the work that she's been doing, was ready to receive a great deal of light. This is why she felt very like laughing, that it was very uh, strange, but she will integrate those energies. So it was very useful today. Yes.
Mm, beautiful. And could I ask you to do a scan of this one's physical and energetic body and just to tell me if there are any entities or energies still attached to them that we may have missed?
No, she is clear. It's a very difficult job now to uh, infiltrate in her current frequency. Yes.
Mm, beautiful. And how has she been able to raise her frequency that much so that no entities can penetrate it now?
She's been doing this for the last decade. She has been working through pieces at a time. She understands now her illness, the period of several years where she was extremely ill, has prepared her, has been preparing her for all of this. And so she's been working through systematically over many, many years. And so with the activations, the channelings, the expansions, the continued growth and learning, and the clearing, she has been moving forwards. Not to say that um, she will never need any clearings, because we would recommend that she continues doing this for a while, as long as it feels good. But to know that in the current frequency, this is what it feels like when she's in this frequency. Um, she is too conscious and aware for anything to attach, and even if it attempted, she can simply remove this now herself. Of course, what happens is when a frequency drops, and this can be through experience. Sometimes one can be in a state of forgetfulness if something happens, or if something shocking occurs, or perhaps something upsetting happens and the frequency drops. And yes, there may be an avenue there, but because she knows how to clear, she will be too aware. So she will know, and she will spot them quickly. So it is a case of being very open now and
Mm,
understanding. Um, but keeping herself clear is important, and checking in the way that these sessions do is good for the time being, because it ensures that even the smallest things do not get through.
mm. Yes, and I noticed recently that when I watched I guess a violent TV show or program that something immediately attached on. Is that another way that sometimes these things can attach onto us if we watch something that's probably not that great for us to watch?
Mm. Yes, because it is to do with your attention. And so when you watch certain um, things on your screens, you are saying that you give your consent, let's just use this word, that you are consenting and you are participating and you are willingly engaging. It is the same as if you were to sit down and engage in a conversation with another fellow human. This is your way of saying, I agree, I consent to having this conversation, I give it the go ahead. And so this is what is happening. And so really it is to do with your attention and focus. So to choose things that you are wanting to give your attention to. There are some times where you will want to see something that you know that it is a lower frequency, but it is perhaps important for you to know, or important for maybe to understand on your mission. And in these cases, as long as you are conscious and you are consciously telling yourself that you are choosing to look for specific purposes, but you do not give consent to anything attaching, and you put proper protection up around you, this will reduce anything being able to hop in, so to speak. So it is
Wonderful.
very easy for you to do that. It is just, again, it's the awareness of doing it and the remembrance.
Mm,
Yes.
yes. And some of these attachments, can they actually make you feel like if you are high vibrational and you suddenly get a very dense attachment, can you actually feel pain in your body sometimes? Because have been having this experience where I've felt an attachment and it feels like an extreme pain. like a migraine.
Yes, this is a good indication. This you can allow yourself to use these as a signal to you. So your body will be has a lot of wisdom that it can indicate to you that something is in your awareness, like a sensor that goes off because something is close by. So when you have a very sensitive physical form, your body can give you almost immediate feedback. So this is very useful for you. And then you can simply remove that.
Mm, oh, wonderful. And
You
is
do
there
not need
any?
to know what it is. You can simply
Mm,
recognize that there is something and you can ask your team to remove that. Yes.
yes. And is there any healing or help required by her physical body at this time?
Yes, she is in the process of rebuilding her oxygen and energy levels and her iron levels in the body. And so nothing is needed now because daily she is asking for assistance and we are assisting her with this repair. So yes, all is good.
Okay, wonderful. And are there any upgrades that she can benefit from at this time, or has she already received plenty of upgrades?
She has had a wonderful high frequency one in this very session, and so we shall allow her to integrate this as it will take a few days for her to fully integrate. Yes, this is wonderful.
And is there any AI or implants that aren't her for her best and highest good, or any negative energy cords that we need to cut today?
No, she is all clear.
Okay, wonderful. And are there any final messages for this one?
To take some time now to relax, to rest, to integrate, uh, to remind her to look back at her week, to really comb through each day and acknowledge the wonderful things that have been occurring. She has been moving very rapidly, fast in recent weeks, many wonderful things, and so sometimes it is easy to forget these aspects. So we encourage her to take time at the end of the week to go through what happened, almost telling herself the story of what happened each day, the wonderful session that she had that day, the other wonderful session that she delivered, something else that occurred, and really take time to acknowledge them because she does not always do this. And it would be of great benefit to her to give herself that wonderful acknowledgement the way that she does for others and to enjoy what is unfolding, enjoy what is to come because she is on a very different trajectory now. And when more light is in the body, things can have a tendency to move very quickly. And so, even if these are wonderful movements in her business, in her mission, and in her life, there still needs to be an element of grounding the wonderful things in so she can hold them. And she knows what to do with this. So, this is just a beautiful reminder for her.
Wonderful. And can I ask you to keep upgrading her body and continuing with any healing that may be needed by this one over the next 3 nights in their sleep states?
Yes, we will continue to assist.
Beautiful. And is there anything else, or are we complete for this time?
We are complete, and we would like to thank you again for your wonderful assistance, your wonderful energies, and we are very appreciative of your presence. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.